back or welcome to my channel. My name is Sam and this is Sam's Reading Corner. Today's video is a little overdue. It's almost the end of February and I'm just now talking about the books I read in January. So I'm sorry this is so late. I'm still trying to figure out a schedule that works for me. I would have had this out sooner, but at the beginning of February, I had a death in the family and I got sick for 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks of February, I was grieving and trying to feel better at the same time. So I wasn't very productive. But now that I'm feeling better and I'm a little more put together, it's time for my January wrap up. So I read 9 books. Let's get started. I started this month out with a banger, guys. I finished Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I rated this 5 stars. Guys, if you have not read the Throne of Glass series, I highly recommend it. I had so much fun reading this. I also buddy read it with one of my friends on TikTok, Cody. I will drop my TikTok in the description so you guys can see more of my shorter forms. I post a lot on there almost daily, so that'll keep you in the loop with what I'm reading and all the things. But enough plugging myself. Let's get back into these books. So of course this is the last book in the series, so I don't want to spoil it, but some heavy stuff happens to all of our characters. There's a few deaths that I don't particularly think were needed, Sarah J. Maas, but you know, it is what it is. If you know who I'm talking about, then you know the 14 people that died, or 13 people that died, did not have to die. I love Aylin's journey. I love her character growth. I love everything about this book, all the characters. Rowan was my book boyfriend for January, so just keep that in mind with what you think is going to happen in this almost 1,000-page book. And then I read my first arc of the month, A Clash of Embers by Britt Stark. Ooh, and it came with a whole bunch of goodies in the package when I got here. It came with a bookmark and 2 stickers and a signed book plate that I put in here are the stickers that I put. This sticker right here is more towards the book that I'm talking about in particular, but it came with a signed book plate that I put in book 1. But I rated this 3 stars. It's the second book in a series. It's on KU. It's called the Clash series. Book 1 was so good. So I kind of really pushed through book 2, and just everything that happened, I 100%, in my opinion, feel like there needed to be like a novella between book 1 and book 2, because there's like a curse that is part of the storyline, and in book 2 it's really the plot of the book, and I just was feeling really confused. There wasn't a lot of explanation and things, so I really feel like if we had more of a history of the curse and what was going on, and I really do feel like that would have made book 2 that much stronger. That way I was like confused like the whole time reading this book, and it's like 400 pages. But I definitely will be picking up book 2 because of my love for book 1. Fated mates, enemies to lovers, best friends, childhood lovers to enemies, all the good tropes that you want in a fantasy. 1 bed, I think there's 1 bed. Anyways, 3 stars, but definitely pick up book 1 and then go for book 2. Don't base it off of just me. It's just how I was feeling at the time. And then I read my first rom-com of the year with an arc of Apparently I'm a Bitch by Demi Blaze. I will be putting up all the pictures of the books that I don't own physically, like somewhere over here, so we can know what the covers look like. This was Friends to Lovers. This, after reading Kingdom of Ash and reading Clash of Embers, I definitely needed a palette cleanser, and this was the perfect friends to lovers that I could have read. I'm sure there was better ones, but at the time I needed to read this as an arc because it was coming out. So I'm glad I picked it. There is a miscommunications trope, which isn't my favorite, but the friends to lovers was just as much with this story as the miscommunication. So there's that. We follow a coffee shop owner and a lawyer, and to be honest, the co-workers of our female main character, who's the lawyer, gave me the show Suits vibes, particularly Harvey in Suits, just because her co-worker Harvey, because of her co-worker Harvey, who is also a lawyer, but he very much embodies Harvey from Suits. So if you like that show, definitely give this a read. This is the first book in a duet. Book 2 comes out in April, and I cannot wait to read book 2. The next book I read, unfortunately because of the St. Martin's Press thing that's going on, we will not be talking about it, even though I really enjoyed this book. So hopefully once the strike ends, I can talk about this book, because I need to talk about it with someone. It was so good. I rated it 4 stars, but that's all I'm gonna say. And then I got into my motorcycle romance era with The Reaper by Kayla Riley. I gave this 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that not only was there romance, but there was a plot that helped drive the whole story, and it left on a cliffhanger, and no third act breakup. I love that there was no third act breakup. I'm not a big romance reader, so now that I'm reading a lot more romance, I'm starting to see what I do like in romances and what I don't. And one thing I don't freaking like about romance is the third act breakup. Most of them are so stupid, don't need to be in there. Why can't they just be happy and finish the book? To be honest, if there was a third act breakup, take it out and then end the book. Why are you gonna put in a third act breakup for no reason? They're happy. Who needs a third act breakup? I mean, let me know in the comments if you don't feel the same way, but I feel like third act breakups are stupid. And the only reason I got into my motorcycle romance era was because I had an arc of book 2, which was Wrath by Kayla Riley. I gave this 4 stars, and again, there was no third act breakup, and the plot that was in book 1 continued into book 2, and it will be continuing into book 3, and I'm so excited for book 3. I think it's coming out later this year, later in 2024, so I'm really excited for that, because the character that it's following is someone who we don't see a lot of in book 1 and 2, so I'm really excited to see this character's growth through the series. But the main reason I gave this 4 stars instead of 5 stars is because the female main character, in my opinion, felt so much like the female main character from book 1, in the way that they both dealt with their trauma and getting over their trauma and all that. It just felt like it was the same girl, but we slapped a different name on her. And make sure you check your trigger warnings with both Reaper and Wrath. There's a lot going on with that, so I highly recommend you check your triggers, because there is essay on the page. And then one of my least favorite books of the month was Shadows by Jennifer L. Almantrott. I read this for my Pop Sugar challenge that I'm doing this year. It was for the prompt of the 24th book of an author, so Goodreads told me that this was the 24th book of JLA, and honestly, I rated this 3 stars. It gave me Twilight vibes, but instead of vampires, they're aliens. So if you know what I'm talking about, you kind of get the gist of this book. It's YA, alien romance, shifter romance. I don't know if I'm not going to continue this series, because it was a novella in the series, in the Lux series, so I think I might just read book 1 and go from there. So there's still hope, right guys? There's still hope. And if you've read the Lux series by JLA, let me know in the comments if you think I should read book 1, because I'm on the fence, guys. I don't know what to do with the series. I don't know if I want to continue it, just because it's such Twilight. I loved Twilight growing up. Don't get me wrong, Twilight, but I'm not sure I want to go back to that era. You know what I'm talking about? And then I read Trials of the Sun Queen by Nisha Tooley. This was for my 12 Friends, 12 Recs for this year that I'm doing. I do need to get a full review out of this book onto my TikTok, which will be linked in the description if you want to go and check that out. But I gave this 4 stars. It had a competition in it, and we all know that's one of my favorite tropes. So if it's in the book, I'm gonna rate it high. I don't anything else that has to do with this story, I could care less, and it'll be at least 4 stars just because it has got a competition in it. But the love interest, the Sun King, Tamlin. He had Tamlin written all over him. I knew it as soon as we were introduced to him. I'm like, he's giving me Tamlin vibes. He's blonde. This could be another Tamlin. So if you guys read the first 2 books in ACOTAR, then you know what the Tamlin is. That's all I gotta say. But I do recommend this. If not, if you like competition, definitely for the competition. The romance was really good. It wasn't super spicy. I give it 1 chili pepper. So if you're not if you don't like a lot of spice and you're romantic-y, I highly recommend it for that. And then the last book that I did finish was my last arc of the month, Billionaire and I by Leah James. I rated this 4 stars. Instant lovey billionaire romance. So if you like insta love, definitely check this out. I'm not a super big fan of insta love. I did not know that going in, but as soon as it got to that, I was like, okay. But it was fake dating, which is also one of my favorite tropes, which is why I signed up for the arc, because it had fake dating in it. So if you got a competition and it's fake dating in one book, give me that book and I'll rate it 5 stars, because I don't care what anything else has to do with the book. It's got a competition and it's fake dating. That's my perfect book. That is my perfect book. But anyways, back to Billionaire and I. 4 stars. Our female main character is a high-end escort for billionaires, and our billionaire that we're following needs a fake girlfriend for the weekend for 2 weeks while his best friend gets married and goes on all the wedding things, all the wedding events, and on the honeymoon. And we end on a cliffhanger, which has to do with our female main character and pretty much her past. So I can't wait for book 2, especially because I need to know what's gonna happen to our couple. And then last but not least, I had 1 DNF in January. It's a soft DNF. It is Guild by Raven Kennedy. I DNF'd it 64% in. There's just a lot of things that I did not like about this book that I feel like if I finished this book, I would have been slumping. I would have been slumping in the beginning of February, and I did not want that, especially with everything that was going on in my life at the time of when I was reading this. So there's just a lot of craziness. The way they talk about the women in this book, what they call them, I don't know, I can't remember what they called them. Oh, come on. I don't remember what they called the women in this. But it is a King Midas retelling, and Auron, our main character, is gold pretty much because she is his King Midas's favorite. Let me know in the comments what they call them, because I literally don't remember. Oh geez. What do they call them? Let me know in the comments, because I literally don't remember. But when I DNF'd, they were traveling from King Midas's kingdom to the other kingdom that King Midas kind of took over, because he took it over. And they're called Snow something. But it just came out of nowhere, and it felt like it shouldn't be there. Like, snow pirates. That's what came out. Snow pirates. And I'm just thinking to myself, where the hell did these snow pirates come out of? Because they were in like none of the world building, and all of a sudden they're traveling, and I get, but snow pirates, like, could you have called them something else? Because like, you could have just, they're pirates and they steal stuff, like, there's thieves. But calling them snow pirates just seemed so weird to me. So that, and just how they talked about women in this really just grossed me out. I feel, if this is a soft enough, I feel like I might go back to it if I'm feeling it, because I've heard amazing things about this series. Oh, and it started out with an orgy. Listen, I've never had a book start out with an orgy. If you're looking for that, pick up Guild. But when I remember what they call these, this is gonna bother me now, because I don't know what the fuck they're called. No, they're not pets, but they are pets. But they're like they're a certain word. I'll find it. If you guys know what it is, let me know in the comments, because it's gonna bother my mind. But those were the 9 books that I read this month. I hope you enjoyed my first kind of review of all the books I read. I know it's a little chaotic. My brain goes off in tangents once in a while when I talk about all the books that I read. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the comments. Let me know how your reading month was. Let me know in the comments what your favorite read was for January. I'd love to know. And if you've read any of these books that I read, let me know in the comments so we can talk about them. I will catch you guys in the comments, and I'll catch you next month to talk about my February reads. I'll catch you then. Happy reading!